Well, we were watching live by Reserve Bank of India's Governor Shaktikant Das, who announced India's monetary policy of the first quarter of this fiscal year. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das started his address by talking about RBI commemorating 90 years earlier this week. He said that RBI was always at the forefront for steering India's economy towards stability. He said RBI is well positioned to take the best steps for the Indian economy. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das announced to keep the key repo rate unchanged as seen through the last 6 times at 6.5%. That also means your EMIs won't come down right now. For our viewers' understanding, we may tell you that the repo rate is the interest rate at which banks draw funds from RBI to overcome short-term liquidity mismatches. He also mentioned about the global economy, which has remained resilient with a stable outlook as suggested by the indicators. RBI Governor also said that core inflation has declined steadily, owing to which MPC must be actively deflationary. The governor also said that India presents a different picture on account of its fiscal consolidation and robust GDP growth, which is projected at 7% when compared to the debt situation in other major economies. He also mentioned that good domestic indicators show bright prospects for Indian economy. He said global debt-to-debt GDP ratio remains high, may have spillover effect on emerging economies. Food inflation pressures accentuated in February, and MPC remains vigilant towards upside risk of inflation. MPC decides to remain focused on withdrawal of accommodative stance, and robust growth prospects provide policy space to remain focused on bringing inflation to 4% of target. He also said that Indian rupee was the most stable, which reflects India's financial stability and improvement in external conditions. RBI Governor said that RBI will remain nimble and flexible, and RBI will deploy appropriate mix of instruments to ensure that the money market evolves further. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das said that inflation was the elephant in the room, and now the elephant has left the room and it appears to be on its way to the forest. And we would like the elephant to go to the forest and stay there. The upcoming decade, he said, will be transformative. And now moving on, as media reports are doing rounds that Israeli military has been using artificial intelligence to help identify bombing targets in Gaza. The White House said it was looking into such reports. In an interview, U.S. National Security spokesperson John Kirby said the U.S. had not verified the content of the media report published in a magazine. It cited Israeli intelligence officials involved in the reported program known as Lavender. The Israeli Defense Forces has denied that AI was used to identify suspected extremists and targets. On the reports of opening of the Erez crossing with Gaza to allow more humanitarian aid to enter, Kirby said the opening of the crossing would be welcome news if true. Well, after terming the strike on 7 aid workers as intended, Israel said on Thursday it would adjust tactics in the Gaza war. Israel military has acknowledged airstrikes on World Central Kitchen staff as a major mistake and said that inquiry findings would be made public soon. Monday's incident has stoked anger at the mounting civilian toll in the Israel-Hamas conflict, especially as the slain World Central Kitchen staff included Australian, British and Polish citizens, along with a US-Canadian dual national. As a preliminary move to make amends with the WCK deaths, Israel said it would set up a joint operational coordination room with humanitarian agencies located within the military's southern command, where Gaza missions are directly managed.